thrilling night. Tell us about it.
Well, it didn't start off in the best of fashions, did it? Going a goal down. I must admit there were some disappointments at that stage, and I felt the goal was certainly avoidable. What we saw was a group again that never say die. They show incredible character. Moments in both halves where we should have really got ourselves in front or even extended our lead and didn't. There were some very good opportunities. And all in all, I think it took every sinew of their energies and fibre in their bodies to win the game. And it was a very important win, of course, against a close rival, and one that gets us on the right track for this long homestand that we're in.
Thank you, Coach. New information for the media here. We have media in person and media on the Zoom. So we'll proceed with the media here in the room, and then we'll continue with those who have questions via Zoom. So please, a reminder, if you're on Zoom, alert me through the chat if you have a question for Coach or any of the players. And with that, Drake, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for meeting with us. This is a new experience, of course. Gary, I wanted to ask just about, first of all, Jack, and then we'll get to Luke. But when did he come back into the group, and what does that say about his mentality to come into the group and also be ready to score and give Nashville the spark to obviously come back and win this one?
Yeah, I mean, as part of development for a lot of our young players, we're looking for opportunities to get them games. We're looking for situations where they can, experience different environments, styles, but most importantly, gaining minutes at a professional level. It is very, very difficult for somebody like Jack. Although he's an extremely talented boy, we've got two very, very good centre-backs who have stayed fit and healthy. To get those minutes are not easy. So we decided as a group to try and further his development by sending him away for little over a month, or maybe it was just under. He got 5 games with San Diego, and in many ways it gave him the opportunity and probably I suspect the confidence that we saw tonight. Minutes under your belt, competitive environments that he's got to deal with, and certainly different types of opponents. We got him back from his loan period early in the week. There were some circumstances that we were beginning to become aware of that lent itself to the fact that we might need an extra body in that area, and that's pretty much what happened. And at the end of what I'm saying here about Jack, I've just got to say that he's taken this opportunity incredibly well. It wasn't just the goal, whilst it is important, and it was a pivotal moment in the game. His performance in general was very, very good.
And going to Luke, obviously I remember after the Louisville friendly back in March, and I asked about him and obviously his development. You said you wanted to see a little bit more out of him. What was these past couple of weeks like? Obviously, with the international break and other things, it probably have led to this opportunity for Luke. But the way he was able to get in as a sub and really get going and not take much time to get going, what did you think about his performance overall? And obviously, not scoring just 1, but scoring 2 goals.
Well, look, he's come into the game and he's made all of the difference. 2 goals, one of them the winner, in the dying moments. And to be quite frank, there have been some opportunities tonight that haven't been converted that we would all have suspected would be. He's kept his cool, and he's given us all this incredibly exciting moment. What Luke's been able to do over the past 6-8 weeks is get himself some minutes on the field through some incredible hard work during the midweek, showing fabulous signs of improvement, and again, because of the way that the development of our youngsters is set up, Luke's learning on the job, as it were. He's coming into the first team And now he's got to earn some trust, not only of the players around him, but of the coaching staff. And he's been able to do that. And slowly but surely, he's taken those moments and he's grown and he's moved with it. And we see tonight an incredible impression for what was 35 minutes or so.
Tim.
Gary, you've come back from 2-0 deficits 3 times now, and now you came back from 2 separate 1-goal deficits and came all the way back for the win. What is the feeling of catharsis to get that comeback win after you've had opportunities in previous games?
Well, look, it's not nice to go behind at home, and I did feel as though we were the more positive side. We were creating opportunities, and this is a really talented Toronto team. Some incredible players in that group, and it's tough to seize the initiative from them. They're good footballers. They want the ball. It inspires them, and they do it very, very well. So there were some real qualities within our group, but to go a goal down against that type of team makes it even tougher. As I've said, the resilience, the determination and character in the group is unquestionable. But I think this come from behind result and 3 points on the board for the first time this season is something that should really resonate inside all of these players, and it gives us a great platform to go towards the weekend.
Thank you.
Gary, 3rd win at home, and we continue being unbeaten here. I just want to ask you what adjustments that you did on this game differently that was on the last game that we had.
In fairness, not too many. There's limitations with forwards, with some injuries and omissions. CJ's been immense for the group. He's battled through another 90 minutes tonight and had a tremendous impact on the game. Creates the first goal with a wonderful header down for Jack. So there are limitations off the line or otherwise, and choices as to how we will go about our business. But I've got to say, playing a 4-2-3-1 again tonight, the front two, as I would describe them, Hanny being that 10 and withdrawn striker, the pair of them were terrific, really were, and they led the line for us. They gave us our best moments. Aside that, really, of course, it was Jack. The choice to replace Walker. In some difficult circumstances and some personal ones that he's had. At short notice wasn't easy. Jalil's a fabulous replacement and was at the weekend, but I just felt that there were some aspects of this game that might suit Jack a little bit better, and I think that was borne out. Aside that, we had some great moments, some good possession, and the guys worked the ball well, but to come from behind twice and win the game is a fantastic feeling, and again, great character in the group.
A reminder to those on the Zoom call to alert me through the chat if you have a question for Coach. Do you have any follow-ups?
You got Rodrigo Pinheiro plenty more minutes than he got in his previous appearance. What has allowed him to earn that playing time, and what did you think of his time on the pitch tonight?
Well, look, there's a lot of competition, and I could really package the likes of Luke and Rodrigo and Hamwala in a similar sense, because they're all 3 of them are young guys. They're lacking experience at this level. Hamwala probably having the most. Rodrigo's got a lot of first team experience abroad, but he's adapting to the environment and to the team. Honestly, I wanted to try and get as many attacking players on the line as I could. I wanted to have options. We have got injuries, and we do have some problems on the line with regards to forwards. And I just thought in that moment he's shown some really bright and positive signs, and his attitude has been spot on in the last week. And it was just a feeling. I felt as though he deserved the minutes. He gave us some nice moments. He certainly injected some energy. I'm not expecting him to turn the game in 10 minutes, but I think he will have walked off today feeling as though he's done his job, and he's certainly planted a positive seed in everyone's mind on the line.
Drink.
Do you expect Walker to be available and back with the club for Saturday?
We will decide that later in the week,
Yeah.
communicate it accordingly.
Yeah.
Ben, go ahead.
Yeah, Gary, just given some of the losses you've had at home earlier this season, how much of a difference does it make just going into these next 4 home meetings with that, not just the 3 points, but just kind of that dramatic level of a win? What does that do for your confidence and really moving forward?
Well, of course, it goes without saying, it does the world of good for the group. I think we can also look at the game as a whole, not just the 3 goals and the victory, but the performance itself. There were some really bright spots, some nice creation. I did wonder at one point whether or not, we were going to be able to keep our cool in front of goal and ask them some serious questions. And of course, in the end, we were able to. At 1-0 and 2-1, there's always the fear that, have we got one more goal in us and to get something out of the game rather than, of course, walk off with nothing. In the end, the guys have really dug deep and given everything, and as I said previously, is set this homestand up on a very good footing. There'll be confidence in the group at the weekend. When you've got a quick turnaround, it's a hell of a lot easier for those weary bodies to galvanise themselves again when they've won a game. It's the complete opposite, as you can imagine, if you don't. So, delighted, excited, overwhelmed for the fans. It must have been a wonderful game to watch, 5 goals. You don't get too many that are won in the final moments, in injury time for the victory. A night to remember for everyone, I do believe that.